All right, everybody. Oh no, I did actually start like that. Hey, Rook, why don't you give us a recap of what happened last time?
So, last week, we were introduced to our magnificent bastards as they attempted to capture a vicious, monstrous dog. Rick was late to the party, but then rammed his very expensive SUV into the beast and into Vanessa, who was Rickrolled, if you will. The team captured the beast as it was helpless under the SUV's wheel and then used it for their less than savory interests before it died. We then caught up to them as they attended a black tie affair put on by the Ashwood Abbey to announce the Black Royal Regatta Decennium, a grand affair pitting the younger cells of Abbey hunters against each other for who can hunt or recruit the most impressive beasts. Cecil had an unhappy run-in with his father. Victor had a happy run-in with his father, who tells him that something strange is going on with this regatta. Vanessa did intoxicated Vanessa things. Rick once again put some wheels in motion. Yes, you were just Rickrolled again. Though this time it was for business and competition purposes. Nora did some spying and protecting Vanessa, and Nathan made sure the other cells behaved. Cecil, having fulfilled his obligation to attend, leaves while it's still rude to do so, but then catches up with the rest of the cell at Rick's One Hyde Park penthouse suite to plan for the coming hunts, where they hear on the evening news about a bear mauling someone to death in London.
And that
I'd like to propose an aggravated point of damage for every Rickroll joke.
What can I say except you're welcome?
I will go ahead and take that.
Lin-Manuel Miranda reference there.
All right, so that is exactly where we are going to pick back off. Specifically, as the police blotter news report, however you want to put it, finishes up with saying that this mauling took place in Watford. It's northwest of London. I guess here in the States you would call it a suburb. It is a mostly residential urban area now. It used to be used for other things, but it's transitioned. So with this new information, what is everybody thinking?
Rick's thinking that this is either too good to be true or a fantastic opportunity. One of the two. He is going to propose to the group that we go look for this bear thing in London, but not with the intent of a capture or a kill, but instead with the intent of making a deal. Rick wants to essentially proposes kind of scouting this thing out, making sure that it's not feral, that it does have some sentience and some sense, and basically letting it know that if we know, other people know, giving it a heads up, maybe even equipping it with a couple of things that would make it a much more unpleasant encounter for another group of hunters that might think they have an ambush set, thereby eliminating some competition and maybe getting some information out of this creature in addition to.
Oh, the thing just shredded a civilian and you want to go have a chat with it. Is that what I'm getting?
And give it stuff to make it stronger.
Well, we don't know that it was a civilian. And maybe it's not hungry anymore. So yeah, I want to have a chat with it. We need a layer, right? We get bonus points for convincing a thing to come along with this or something like that. Rick would know. James has forgotten the exacts. But
That was just one of the options that was given, that it didn't necessarily
Right.
need to be hauled in kicking and screaming, so to speak.
The words
So-
were killing, capturing, or convincing.
yeah. So we don't have any other leads besides this one yet. If we kill it, we are down to 0 leads. But if we make a deal with it, we potentially get new leads from it and eliminate another hunter cell, or at least injure them enough that they're not part of the competition. And then if it tries to charge at us, we shoot the shit out of it.
Cecil wants to find it to stop it from killing more people, but he obviously doesn't control what everybody else does.
Yeah. Well, first we do need to find it, because it's probably not there anymore. Who's our
Helping it relocate could be part of the deal, Cecil. You know, after the hunt, the other hunters come and go. Letting it know that we can help it go somewhere where its proclivities won't hurt innocents,
You want to release it into the wild.
so to speak.
I know Vanessa's more of the mind of more hunting, less talking, but if the group really wants to talk with this bear killing, this human killing bear thing, she's not exactly opposed to it.
Not everybody needs to come.
Well, I do, because I want to have a photo of it for my scrapbook. But other than that, I don't really care what happens to it, or what you do, or what happens.
Yeah, regardless of what we actually do with it, I would like to get eyes on it first. See what we're dealing with. If it can be reasoned with. If it can't, do we need to shoot it? We won't know until we come up to it.
Yeah, and you're much better at shooting things than I am, so if I try to talk to it and then it tries to eat me, I wouldn't mind having you around.
Well, yeah, that's, you know. You want me, like, up there with you? You want me back a bit, you know?
This sounds like the perfect use of the identification tactic. Does anybody remember what our favorite tactics were?
Identification, lure, and capture.
Yeah, identification,
yeah.
lure, and capture. Yeah. Double checking that one.
That
So,
primary actor has to have 2 in occult to perform this.
Cecil? Nora?
Not I.
Too cold.
Both of
I
you,
do
right?
have to occult.
Victor, I think, has 3.
So, 2 questions. Does everybody want to go for a ride along tonight? Or does somebody else have other plans? And Cecil, did your car fit us all? Because we didn't drive here.
I believe.
And my SUV's still in the shop.
Oh yeah. Cecil didn't drive to the penthouse in the big car. He drove to the penthouse in the fast car.
And also, for those that are obviously not from London, the UK, specifically this drive is roughly about 45 minutes considering no traffic.
Hmm.
So-
When I've heard that London traffic outside the city can be an absolute horrendous time, so I almost expect traffic, I think.
I mean,
Also late, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
yeah,
Maybe there's no late night London traffic. I don't know.
I probably have more than one car here. It's probably not more than one SUV. So if Cecil's got a smaller car, I probably got a sedan, and between the two.
I'm riding with Cecil.
That's fair.
Make sure you buckle up.
Okay. You may change your mind after, but
So, for the secondary actors here, it does seem like you guys want to go with a tailing the target, so to speak?
At least until we have an idea of whether or not it is sentient enough to have a conversation with and what its base motivations may be.
Yeah.
Like if a vampire mauled somebody in the suburbs of London bad enough to make it look like a bear, that person probably did something to them. It probably wasn't a rando civilian innocent. With a lichen, who knows? So, figuring an identification run to figure out what it is before an approach for a non-mechanical social maneuver.
So, I do need to ask, who's going to do the actual tailing, the wits plus stealth roll, once you guys actually get there?
Well, who's doing... So the primary is intelligence plus occult, but you have to have occult too. So of those of us who have occult too, who's got the bigger pool?
Victor
I got
has
3 dice.
Victor has 3 intelligence and 3 occult, so he might be the best for a
I
prime.
nominate Victor as the primary.
That's a fair choice.
And I'll go with, because I have 3 wits, 3 stealth, 2 occult.
So each roll's going to take an hour, so essentially it's going to be this is at the very least going to be 2 hours.
Rick's gonna head down the hall, down some stairs to the other floor for a few minutes while kind of the group is discussing how we're gonna go about tracking and finding this thing and getting eyes on and all that kind of stuff. When he comes back up, he's got a small, like a black box and a small little bag, and sets them down both on the table and slides them over to Cecil. I'm like, this should help.
So he pops it open. He's
The
doesn't seem super eager, but he pops it open.
the black box, you open it up, and it's got
What's in the box?
very, very, very nice drone. Collapsed down, put in some cushion, 2 different cameras, one for day, one for night, that kind of attach into the gimbal. A control, and then when it lifts up, the inside of the lid is like a 12-inch screen, like a Chromebook screen, almost about that size, so that you're not doing like the phone thing. That as long as we have decent cell signal, that'll send live footage back for us to review later. Otherwise, we're just going to rely on your eyes. The one on the left is the night camera, but I think you're going to be the best with this.
I've never flown one of these things before, but it looks like fun.
Yeah, I've seen the inside of your card. It's practically the same.
Fair enough.
And the little draw bags, each one has a different monocular in it, which is basically like a scope on a gun, but smaller, shorter, with like rubber grommets to fit over the eye, about 6 inches long, handheld. And one has a label that says night vision, and one has a label that says thermal.
So Cecil's going to be tailing the target, I imagine, with these wonderful toys.
You like jump really high and climb stuff, so I thought that you could probably get in position to use these better than others.
All right.
I can imagine launching this off the top of a building. Let's go.
So,
Not here. We gotta get closer.
yes. Specifically,
Yeah, please don't throw it off of my building.
who's going out into the field? Cecil,
Rick's-
Nathan, Rick, and
Rick's gonna go because if
Nora.
the ID is good, he'll want to do the talking.
so Victor, I'm assuming you are heading to some sort of research area to...
Yeah. Gonna head back to the family estate and peruse the private collection and see what I can scrounge up.
Okay, that just leaves one outlier. I didn't see where Vanessa was going.
You know, I don't think there's much Vanessa can contribute to this scene, and I think she might go off on her own and maybe go on looking on a bit of a more of a side hunt than anything of her own, which I'm pretty sure Wyverian is well aware as what my intentions are. But for those which aren't so familiar with my character, Vanessa's probably gonna try to find at least try to dig up some information about any maybe local vampires in the area while this is all happening. But yeah.
So, to go ahead and
There
kick...
might be a venture or two around here.
So to go ahead and kick that off, why don't you give me a investigation plus intelligence, Vanessa, to kick off your part of the investigation.
Lovely, that's a chance die. Ooh. I don't think I can dramatically fail that, so wait.
If you roll a 1.
I know you can if you roll a 1, but I don't think I can elect to.
Not on a chance die, I don't think.
No, just regular fail from me.
So, you're gonna not turn up very much of anything. However, one thing it's gonna do is it is going to frustrate you as you spend quite a bit of time out there trying to find anybody that's cold to the touch, so to speak.
Not a fun time.
Especially because the amount of time it's gonna eat. Go ahead and take deprived. The condition.
Yummy.
On that note, I'm gonna need the supporting actor's tailing roll, as you guys do eventually, with a bit of hit or miss, using the police blotter as people slowly phone in that they've seen a bear and obviously dispatch, and the police are talking about said bear. It allows you to sort of vaguely figure out the direction it's heading. It has moved quite a distance outside of the city by this point.
So for this role, is there, I'm kind of looking at the identification, but is it set in stone what we roll, or if we have a creative way to try to help with the investigation, could we lobby for a different role?
Basically, because you have somebody that's going to do the tailing, realistically, he is the only one that needs to do anything. Because as he tails, if you notice, most of these state that they don't really need... if you have somebody tailing, you don't necessarily need them.
Yeah, the other two are research and collecting evidence.
Yeah.
Collect evidence, perform research.
So if somebody wants to throw in their wits and occult for some collecting evidence, go right ahead.
I can do that. It's not much, but it's something.
I think wits and investigation can also be used as well if that's a higher goal for you.
It's the
That
same.
would be a one die roll on either of those. Is there any way I could leverage like social skills to talk to some of the people like at and around the scene where the attack happened to try to pull information that might be helpful?
That's more profiling tactic.
Yeah, that's more
Okay.
under profiling. They're pretty much, people are just going to tell you, I heard screams and there was a giant bear.
Got it.
Bear in the UK.
All right, so I will roll my d10 then.
Do the
Don't forget, you get 8 again on this. So
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
do the
get-
supporting roles get 8 again? Okay.
Oh, forgot 8 again. I need to reroll 1.
Go ahead and re-roll 4, Nora.
Reroll.
Yep, because you have 8 again on this roll, so any successes immediately.
So how do I do?
Hold on, I need to
that?
roll.
Do I
one
just
more.
unclick the things that I clicked and just put?
You can simple roll, click the dice, and then put 4.
Okay. 4.
3 total successes for Nathan.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll another 2. It's 8 again. Yeah, this is...
Yeah, I forgot to click 8 again. That's why I had to keep re-rolling.
Yeah, there is an option to click 8 again, and it'll automatically just keep re-rolling as it gets successes.
Oh, cool. Do I have to re-roll the 2?
Yep. Because
Okay.
they still...
One more.
Yeah,
And then I get...
1.
And then another one.
And another one.
It automatically rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody tally up those successes, so Victor can bring it home.
4.
4?
Well, 4 for Nora, 3 for Nathan.
0.
That looks like 7 additional.
So 7 additional dice.
All right.
So what's your total pool on an 8 again roll?
With 8 again, I have 13 dice, 7 from your assistance, and 6 of my own.
Cecil got
helping.
success, right? So
Yeah, only one.
there
Don't
should be 8
forget, you have to risk willpower when activating a tactic.
Yeah.
The one I said 7 because that last success that Nora got on the previous roll, she had a 10, and it re-rolled the 10 for her.
Oh. Okay. Continue.
But still 7, right?
Yes,
Yes.
and remember that you're risking the willpower.
And
You don't get any benefit from risking it other than being able to activate the tactic.
all right.
Wait, where are you getting 7 from? Because I see on the sheet it's like 4 from me, and then 5, 1 from Pooter, plus 2 from Pooter,
Oh,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
yeah. Yeah, so I think I missed that first 4 because I thought you re-rolled it completely to do the 8 again.
No.
So yeah,
I missed it
4,
too.
5,
So we're at
6, 7,
11.
8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 actually.
All right.
Good
Hey,
luck.
man.
Plus your 6.
All right.
So
Nora
18
rocked
dice
that.
at 8 again.
Watch him get like no successes.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
You shut your mouth.
11 bonus dice. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Question to the storyteller before the roll. Do
This is
secondary
what we
actors
do.
get exceptional successes?
Because yes, tactics do get exceptional successes.
But on the secondary actors?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
So,
All right. Let's roll that then. With 8 again. Intelligence and occult. Here we go.
plus 11 bonus.
Plus 11.
Wow.
13 successes.
Oh,
Whoa.
13.
All
Jeez.
right.
well,
So,
persisted still, so.
yeah. This thing,
How lucky do you feel?
it does not get 8 again. It does not get 13 dice.
Oh, you mean 13 successes? Oh.
Yeah, we knew that. I knew that wasn't going through. Like, there was no way I was beating that. All right. So,
We were just checking for the margin.
as you tail him, as Nora is feeding the information she's able to find on her, I'm assuming a smartphone, or do you have a laptop in the car?
I would have a laptop.
Okay. You're feeding all this information back to Victor. Victor, you're pretty certain this is a supernatural creature. You are pretty certain it's not a werewolf. It is a werebear. You learn one following thing about the creature: an anchor, an aspiration, a location to a home or lair, where you identify basically a touchstone.
He actually learns 2
Yep.
pieces of information.
I was going to say, and for the exceptional, you get 1 more.
Sure. What most interests you guys?
Well,
I think the layer.
Victor's the primary, so he do what he want. But if we wanted to be able to manipulate this thing, a touchstone and its layer together,
I think aspiration would also be very handy. And if we know what it wants, we can use that to our advantage.
true. That's also a good one. We probably need to know where it lives, regardless.
Yeah. Let's say layer.
Aspiration is for bribery. Touchstone is for extortion. It depends which way we want to go.
You're so crude, Rick.
Not wrong.
Victor would probably take the high road and try and get into the mind of this creature, and would go for the aspiration to get an idea of how this thing thinks. Get into that psyche of it.
Okay. So, you're going to find out that this is not necessarily the first time it's happened in Watford. So, everything's leading you to believe that it lives in Watford. Probably when it's not a rampaging weird creature, it's just some regular Joe walking down the street, paying his taxes, but seems to have this unfortunate habit of transforming into a gigantic 2-legged walking bear with the chest the size of a barrel. And as for an aspiration, it's tricky because the guy that you bring up that fits the profile the best, his name has been in the paper a couple of different times for his upcoming wedding. So, obviously, he would want to keep his wife safe from himself, which also leads you to the explanation of why he's so far outside of the area now. He's trying to get away from Watford until this passes. If you want a name, I can give you a name, if that matters to Victor.
I think a name is very important. I think being able to address this thing properly would be of an utmost concern for Victor. Now that he knows that it has some capacity for reason and human thought, he would definitely want to know as much as he could about it, because now he's a bit more interested. He was kind of a bit detached, like, oh, some random mauling of some bear creature, whatever. But now that this thing has motivation, there's more to this story behind instead of just senseless violence. He's definitely getting more invested into this little this avenue.
So the name that comes up is one Jacob Smith. The girlfriend's name.
Oh.
The girlfriend's name is Catherine McLean. Or I should say fiance's name.
And I imagine we probably want to reconvene after you guys have kind of collected all of this evidence. Unless you guys intend to meet out in the field. What's your guys' plan? How do we want to convey this information?
Do we think he's still a rampaging werebear right now? Like at the moment?
As Cecil has been trailing him. Sorry, my brain just completely froze there for a second. As Cecil's been tailing him, yes, he is still a two-legged bear that is, as stated, not walking like a bear on two legs normally does. Arms out to the side, very much human muscular structure for the upper body. Barrel like a chest, all puffed out, just... It isn't very hard, even at a distance, to hear this thing just breathing into the night air.
Do we know if lichens are sentient when they're kind of in this phase? Not sentient's not the right word, but aware and able to speak.
I mean, we at least have the implication that this thing is trying to get away from civilization. So that there's maybe some capacity.
There is a thought process there.
Yeah.
There's decision making.
Yeah.
Not that we necessarily want to get in between it at this moment, but there is that possibility.
Did I get a couple photos of it since we're tailing him and we like literally just saw him?
The tailing's specifically being done by Cecil. Your guys' involvement was mostly on the research end, so I don't know if you've necessarily made eye contact, so to speak, with it.
Oh,
made
okay.
visual. Cecil has.
Damn it.
So if
I am jealous.
But if he's got any, if this thing ever slows down long enough for him to perch up, he can deploy the drone and get
that doesn't count for me.
Footage. I'll take a screenshot for you.
No, it doesn't count for me. I need to take the photos, which is why, Rick, don't think I didn't get offended that you brought your own camera.
You just glossed right over our camera woman here.
What you should have done is make a drone to pick her up and fly her around with a camera.
I have one. It's called a helicopter. She bitched about getting in that too.
Get away from me.
I think it might be more prudent, given its current state. We have an inclination of its lair from our investigation. Maybe we can wait for it there, wait for it to return home when it's a little less rampagey, a little less bloodthirsty, perhaps.
Let the blood pressure come back down a bit.
Yeah,
Maybe we come with like a big pot of honey or something.
Yeah, we found its weakness, bees.
Yeah, I would imagine since we have a name, we have two names, that it would not be hard to find a residential address at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
For this group?
he's gonna come back. It's just a question of if we want to go the extra mile to stop extra violence from happening tonight, but it seems like he's doing that on his own.
Your bees comment got me thinking. Everybody and their mother knows the weakness of a werewolf. Silver. What's the weakness of a werebear?
Picnic basket?
Maybe more silver?
Is silver an all lycanthropes thing, or is that just a wolf thing?
We ever actually tried it on a werewolf?
Yeah, we're operating on our flawed knowledge of...
Yeah, I mean, that's the most common, thing.
Maybe it's like
Let's,
sticks that they're allergic to. Who knows?
We should do a little. Now, if he's the normal him, if he's Mr. Jacob Smith at home at 123 Ashford Drive, we probably don't need the silver. At least for that conversation. We only probably need it if things turn south.
As this conversation is happening, are you guys still tailing, or are you guys heading back to reconvene?
I'd like to see how far it goes and where.
I want to watch it for a bit.
Is this just like, did it pick a direction, or does it have a destination in mind that it's been to before?
That's what
we know where it lives, but we don't know where it hides.
Good point.
To the extent of our knowledge so far, I think the intent of it is just to get away from civilization. It might not have an end point in mind other than away.
He may just walk till he wakes up naked. I don't know.
I'll keep eyes on.
I think keep eyes on.
All right. So, as you guys keep your eyes on it, it's gonna be several hours. I will actually state there is a tilt condition, I believe, here. As you guys are not necessarily just, chilling. This is kind of active work, especially for Cecil here. It does not actually seem to be a condition or tilt called exhausted. What is my life?
Make one.
Improvised condition?
So I know that this is not technically a chase scene, but I have I have relentless. I don't know if that would affect me getting conditions for long drawn out tales that are not technically chase scenes.
Chase is a very specific type of action. He's not actively running from you. He's not really trying to hide, so I don't think it would necessarily apply here.
Is fatigue what you're looking for?
Fatigue is fine. That's something I would take, but it's just not showing up in the Hunter book, so...
I get to ignore it.
I think in the vanilla core book, I think it's just treated as an increasing penalty to your actions the longer you stay up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's... It looks like fatigue slowly makes things worse because I have a dot in iron stamina, and it's I get to ignore one, every dot in iron stamina lets you ignore one penalty from fatigue as fatigue grows and you have enough stamina to withstand it.
Okay, well, then yeah, you're getting to ignore this, while everybody else, unless Victor decides to retire for the night.
Considering Victor's still back in London, he probably won't pursue this any further. I don't see a foreseeable way of him catching up with the rest of the group at this point.
All right, so Victor is going to retire for the night, so no fatigue.
I still take the fatigue. I just ignore the modifier because if we get fatigue 2, then I'll start taking 1.
So that brings us back to Vanessa, who has also going to be taking fatigue.
I will not be staying up. I am too grumpy to go through withdrawal and sleep deprivation at the same time.
So you're heading back to your location, or your home?
I have probably multiple homes. I probably have an apartment in the city or something. But yeah, I'll probably head back to there, yeah.
As you are making your way home, a girl comes up to you. Her clothes are relatively ill-kept, ragged. Quick glance would tell you that she's probably homeless. She comes running up to Vanessa with very much pleading in her eyes. Can you help me, please? Please, just can you help me, please? Please.
Yeah. So yeah, Vanessa will deign to give this girl a quick okay, what do you want?
I'm the one you don't like.
Huh?
My name is Elizabeth Danes. Somebody's been following me. I've tried to file police reports, but please, just I need somebody to help me, please. I know it's
around. Is there anybody else around that's
perception
following? Yeah, perception. Which I believe is resolving composure, but I get a -1 in that because of my deprived condition. I'm distracted. Ooh, 1 success.
1 success. You know what? I'll make this a contested roll.
Ooh.
I was thinking about not doing it this way, but you know what? It'll work. Just let me do one thing just to keep suspense here. Oop, that's not the question mark symbol. This is the question mark symbol, guys. I swear I have used a keyboard once in my life before.
I don't believe you.
That's a fair calling me
Just say
out.
it's a new keyboard that it's
Evidence
using
speaks
for at
otherwise.
least a month.
All
Keys are all in slightly different places.
Here we go.
Yeah, the actuators on mine are adjustable, and it took a while to get them right.
14 dice.
Well,
This thing is...
What thing?
If she is being followed, she's being followed by something that's invisible for everything that you can tell.
Well, she's the crazy homeless girl. Who knows?
Please, please, please. Just I don't want money or anything. I just want protection or to be taken someplace safe. Please, just anything. I don't want money. I don't even necessarily want you to take me to your house or anything like that. I need someplace safe.
Isn't there a police? Don't police handle this kind of thing?
I've tried to file several reports, but there's never any evidence. So they just ignore me.
Yeah.
Please, please, miss, please. And
Can I get some sort of roll out of her to convince me, because I'm kind of uncertain what Vanessa would do here.
All right, I can give you a roll.
Yeah. I want to see how convincing she is. Yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do here is generic character stat here. This is definitely going to be a manipulation plus. I'm going to go with expression here because she is legitimately getting down on her knees now. And
I'm getting begged at.
Yes, she is legitimately begging. And I'm actually going to have her burn a willpower point.
Damn.
I feel like this is appropriate. This is how desperate she is, that she would burn a willpower here for this. 1 success.
Okay. 1 success. Yeah, so I think she's able to tug at Vanessa's heartstrings. She's not completely heartless. It's come with me, I know where to take you. And I'm not taking her to my place. I'm gonna drop her off at Rick's.
The chances of anyone letting y'all through the door at Hyde Park. We'll see.
I've been through there before. They know me.
That is true. Vanessa would probably be on the guest list.
You told them to let her up.
I was so excited for this.
Me too.
So Vanessa,
Hey, I'm gonna hang out at Rick's for a bit.
well, you're hanging there at least all night until the next morning.
Well, like, from how, like, Rick described it, it is literally, like, the most, like, secure location he has. Like, he's got, like, security guards and shit.
Yeah, I mean the building has like security, and there's like being on the list to get in the door, and then there's needing to have the elevator key, and then there's needing to have the key to get in, and then it's got security system and everything. I mean, imagine everything that a multi-billionaire would have in their most precious apartment to keep it and all of its things safe. So.
Well, would this be something I could do, Dre? Like, am I like stopped at some point along this that I need your like personal like?
You being on the, like, I don't know if we've ever. I think I'm trying to remember. I think we established that that when I brought y'all here yesterday was the first time y'all had seen this space, but I was also thinking about handing out keys, and then I didn't. They would probably let you into the building. I remember I called when Cecil was coming. I was like, somebody's going to pull up that doesn't look like that in a car that looks like it belongs here, but they won't let them in, send them up.
So in this situation, what I'm going to say is you get into the building, but they're like, we need to call. They need to call Rick to get permission.
Okay, so Rick does know.
I think y'all be on the list. I think all y'all would be on the list to like not get told to go away. But I don't think you would have free access to the apartment.
Which is what they're calling to see if you will grant access to the apartment. Yes or no?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
She brought a visitor with her.
Yes.
Rick's like, Vanessa, by herself,
No, I have a visitor.
in my apartment with a visitor.
I hope you're not too attached to that apartment.
Just take them to the bar, put it on my tab until we get back.
As you say that, they immediately, being the good business people they are, check for IDs. Obviously, Vanessa's is fine. They go, we cannot actually let the visitor in. She's 16.
Can you put Vanessa on the phone, please?
Yes. Vanessa, the phone gets handed over to you by the receptionist, essentially.
Vanessa, who the fuck do you have with you?
I don't fucking know.
This is on
Wait 1 moment, let me ask. Yeah, what's your name?
What? Did you just ask her name? You have a 16-year-old whose name you don't know with you in my...
I'm asking right now.
Elizabeth Danes, she says over the line, and you can tell by the voice she's young.
Here.
She's very young, you can tell by the voice.
Elizabeth Danes. Where are you from, Elizabeth?
You want to talk to her? Okay, pass her over to you.
I'm from London.
That's not helpful, sweetheart. What, why are you with Vanessa?
I came across her while I was, trying to avoid whatever was following me. This thing's been following me for, like, months, and There's no evidence, so the cops won't do anything, and I need a place to stay that's safe and away from this thing.
I don't know if I'm more confused that Vanessa helped you or that you thought she was a good person to ask for help.
She was the only one on the street at the time. And she looks like a nice lady. I don't know why
you're very pretty. Yes.
I don't know why you're talking so badly about your what I would assume is your friend.
Strong verbiage you're using there, Elizabeth. Okay. Okay. Can you? What's following you?
I don't know. I only ever catch glimpses of it out of the corner of my eye. I'm gonna make a roll here. It is going to be in wits plus intelligence to remember. To recall something that she's only ever caught glimpses of. I can't really recall it. The only thing I can recall is it has kind of like bluish skin.
I'm just gonna kind of look over at whoever's in my car with me, which is probably Nathan. I'm gonna look over at Nathan and like I'll be like, bluish skin?
Skin? Did they drown? Are they frozen?
How late into the night are we here on the tailing?
This specific phone call would actually be, you're probably pushing 3, 4 a.m.
So, okay. But this thing hasn't finished walking, right?
Nope, it's still moving. It's still just trying to get as far out as it can. You probably started this at midnight, so you are now 3 to 4 hours outside of the city.
Okay. Wow. That's 3 to 4 hours walking, I assume, since it's walking?
Yes.
Okay.
I was aware you were driving, so obviously it's not as bad for anybody in the car.
And we're in 2 separate cars, and Cecil's doing the stuff, and we mostly... Would it be feasible that at this point Rick could turn around and go back downtown?
It'll take a few hours to get back into town.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going back?
I don't know. This sounds fishy at best. And no matter, and the phone's still on Bluetooth. I'm like, and no matter, how you shake it out, Vanessa with a 16-year-old is not a great idea.
What do you think I'm gonna do to her?
Hey kids, you want some drugs?
I'm worried about what you'll let her have. Elizabeth, dear, please, can you hand the phone back to the nice guard?
Yeah. You eventually hear a bit of stuttering, and then eventually the guard come back. The receptionist, I'm just gonna call him that. So, am I letting these people up or not?
Do we have anywhere? No, I'm sure we don't. Anywhere that you can let them up and into that's not my penthouse?
No, sir. Absolutely
Great.
not.
Didn't think so. Fuck it. Yeah, send them up.
All right, I will give them a key, or we'll give Vanessa a key since she's at least on the list.
Yeah, give it 20 minutes and then deactivate it. So if that's not where they go and then they go there later, they have to come back.
Understood. And within about 10 minutes, Vanessa, you are handed a key card.
Yes. Anyway, I go up to Rick's apartment.
It is 2 stories, about 9,000 square feet on each. It's massive.
Yeah. I'm just debating about leaving this girl here. Yeah, I'll probably hang out here for like a while. Maybe like sleep on a couch or something. Trying to take the edge off with some inhalant.
Give me that stamina check.
Yeah. Ooh.
There are like 5 or 6 bedrooms, so you could find a bed.
Yeah. As I am also still deprived, I take a penalty to this one as well.
Even
Ooh.
better.
Fail! Can we make that interesting and turn that dramatic failure if you got anything in mind?
Okay, well, you are
Do
out.
I hotbox the crap out of Rick's apartment?
It's not going to be as fun as you might hope it's going to be. You are certainly going to take the drugged. I believe that's a tilt.
I think it's condition. If I recall.
It is a tilt. So you are going to take the drug tilt.
Drugged.
Yes. So with that, however, I am also going to say I'm going to need maybe another stamina check, but this time at a -2. As your system's a little bit more than compromised at this moment.
Alrighto. This is a chance die then, because of all the penalties I have. So just straight D10. Ooh, nearly a dramatic failure there. So close.
All right, so for Nora and Cecil, this thing does not stop until about 6 a.m. when it finally reverts back into a very, very blonde, blue-eyed gentleman. Luckily fully clothed as he changes back.
So you're saying right about dawn?
Yes. However, by this time, James and Pooter their characters would have reached the apartment, I would say. Where they find a very, very unconscious Vanessa and Elizabeth, who has a bowl of water and towel dabbing at Vanessa's face. As Nathan, give me a medicine plus intelligence roll here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you worried about, Rick? What could go wrong, Rick?
No successes.
Ooh. You should turn that into a dramatic failure. Get another beat.
Okay.
I will die. I'll give my life for a beat.
You assume that Vanessa is passed out drunk. So you're thinking maybe, at the very most, alcohol poisoning.
Seems likely she was drinking last we saw her.
Elizabeth?
Vanessa.
No.
You're at,
Rick's going to address Elizabeth.
she kind of looks up. Hi,
I'm gonna
hi,
point at
sir.
Vanessa, and be like, "We're still in our black tie regalia too, because like we flew in and then drove out."
Yeah.
it just hit me. I'm gonna point at Vanessa and be like, "Do you have an explanation?"
She laid down on the couch, and then I went to the restroom, and then I came back out, and she looked asleep. And then later in the night, she started like really, really sweating. I haven't been able to sleep. And by looking at her face, you could tell the bags underneath her eyes. She's not joking. She hasn't been able to sleep. She was really, really sweating. So I've been trying to like cool her off with this cool water here. She hasn't woken up.
Okay. Well, we'll let her sleep it off, I guess.
I mean,
Nathan?
if it's alcohol poisoning, which I think it is, just turn her on her side so she doesn't drown on her own vomit, and she'll be fine in the morning.
Perfect.
It is morning.
Well, morning for her. She'll have a hell of a hangover, though.
I say, Elizabeth, what you're going to do is write down on a piece of paper who is responsible for you that we can contact. You're going to show me your driver's license, and then I'm going to show you to a room where you can get some sleep.
She's 16.
Yeah. And I want to find out who her parents are so they can come get her out of my apartment.
She doesn't have a driver's license.
I mean, wasn't that the whole thing with the guards? She didn't have ID.
No, she had ID that said she was 16.
Oh,
Or
never mind.
ID. I don't care if you can drive or not.
She kind of pauses and she goes, here's my ID.
Phone camera.
And then she
Hand it
goes,
back to her.
there's a problem with the whole giving you people who are responsible for me.
I look at Nathan. Look
They
at Vanessa. Look at her.
the thing that's been following me killed them. And she looks at you with this most sincere, earnest expression on her face. And it's not one of those where she's trying to sell it. It's just... It's one of those things when you can look at a person and whether or not you necessarily believe the story they're telling you, you know
They do.
Yes.
I say because I'm fairly skilled in streetwise and subterfuge. When she says that, Rick just kind of like, so an invisible blue skin thing killed your family.
I know it sounds crazy, and that's part of the reason why the cops won't talk to me, but he's been stalking my family for months. I think it's a he. I don't honestly know, though. I
I'd
just...
have killed him.
And then at this point, she starts rummaging in her clothes, and she pulls out from underneath her jacket, she starts pulling out a couple of wads of newspapers. You can probably tell she's been lining her clothing with it to try and keep warm, as it is January. And she finally opens up one and then passes a news report about two people, both by the last names of Danes. It seems like for whatever reason the media seems to have withheld first names in this case. Having been found completely drained of all fluids in their body.
Not just blood.
Everything.
Look at Nathan.
I mean, everything. I've never heard of that.
That's a Cecil Nora Victor question.
Wait, like drained, like it was only like their skin left, or like
Skin, bone, and technically their organs, but obviously the organs are very much
Dehydrated.
deflated, yeah.
Like desiccated. Like someone took like a Capri Sun and just
Yeah.
sucked everything out of it.
So
That's a great visual.
I'm gonna like pick my phone back up and be like, doot, 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 and arm the system.
How long ago was this? There's a newspaper?
it was technically last year because, as stated, you guys are in January. So looking at around November, the news article does talk about how the daughter is missing, presumed to be either kidnapped or maybe even a suspect, but like obviously there hasn't been a super strong presence on trying to find her, especially if she's been making police reports.
How does she look health-wise? Is she malnourished?
She's thin, but it does look, I wouldn't necessarily say overly malnourished. Definitely could use a good meal or two and some nights of sleep on something even resembling a bed.
I've got a cot I can pull out.
5 beds
So
and just goes on a
generous
cot.
of you.
As
Rick's just kind of nod and be like, okay, tell you what, I want you to get some food and as much sleep as you can force yourself to get. And then we're going to ask you a lot of questions about this.
I'll try to answer. I'm sorry, I don't know all that much, but I'll try to answer what I can.
And I'm gonna lead her into like the kitchen, and pull out like some freezer meals or something. Rich, but I'm still a bachelor. And microwave up like a couple of like nice when I say freezer meals, this is not like the fake pad thai from like the Publix freezer section. This is like what one of my chefs cooked a couple of weeks worth of meals and put them in the freezer.
Yeah, I figured.
But I'm gonna pull that out and warm it up and get her some food and some I was gonna say apple juice, but let's not feed the malnourished girl a diuretic. Like some orange juice or something, and just get her set up. I'm gonna call to the that's it.
All right, so we're gonna hop back to Nora and Cecil, having seen this thing change back into regular Joe, so to speak, as he kind of obviously begins to look around and pulls out a phone and is obviously probably on Google Maps trying to find his way back. As you see him, you're distance enough away that he probably hasn't even looked over at you. He's looking down at his phone, just trying to, you can assume, figure out where the hell he is.
Cecil's gonna stay hidden and just try to look and see what direction he heads in. And if he heads like back towards home, Cecil's gonna leave because it's gonna be pretty obvious where he's going at this point. But if he heads in a different direction, Cecil will keep following and see where he's going.
All right, so that decision's made very quickly as he does head back the way he came. Obviously, not necessarily as the crow flies as he was before. He's taking sidewalks. He's not barreling through fences or anything like that anymore.
Fair enough. So Cecil will give a couple of minutes to not make it obvious that he was following, and then he'll take off and head back and get the message back that he has reverted back. Just send a text to the group and let them know like he's back in human form and he's heading home, so we'll know where he's at.
The reply is, Vanessa passed out on couch, brought home a little girl. She's eating in the kitchen.
Is this is a group chat, correct? That you sent this in.
I assume when they text their status, I'm gonna reply back with basically our status, like Vanessa passed out on couch, brought teenager home, is eating currently.
Yes, I just want to make sure if Nora and Victor get this text message as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, so both of you know that now.
When Victor wakes up.
Yes.
Actually, what time he wakes up. Where is Nora?
What?
I think people started talking, and then everybody's like, wait, let the other person talk. So,
I think he asked where Nora is.
Yeah, where is Nora?
I'm probably at my house, right? If I'm doing this research on my laptop and stuff.
yeah, you would have went back to your place to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. So if Cecil sends out the all clear, I am just gonna face plant into my bed and put my phone on like do not disturb. So I will not see this message until like a couple hours from now.
All right, Victor. Has Victor awoken?
Yes, I imagine Victor's probably mid-morning routine at some point. He's got the kind of chilled face mask on, kind of relaxing, doing his morning meditation, and that zen is overcoming him as the buzzing of the phone goes off, and you just hear the slightest exasperated sigh as he kind of pulls the face mask off, and you see kind of the lotion, on his skin, and he kind of scrambles over to the phone and examines the message and just kind of sighs and kind of pulls himself up from the middle of his morning routine and kind of pulled in two directions. We know that this thing is quite some distance from its home. Has the group chat indicated if people are trying to reconvene, or if Cecil and the gang following it back to its home?
I would say...
Cecil said he was leaving it be because he knew it was going, but not where he was headed.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep. That's the information that you have.
you know where Vanessa, Rick, Nathan are.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I think Victor will attempt to sort of head this creature off. After finishing the morning routine, of course, he knows he has some time. But once he's had a chance to finish getting ready and dressed, he'll probably send a notification to the rest that he's going to pay this Mr. Smith a visit and try and have a bit of a chat now that he's come to his senses, so to speak.
Yes. You do 100% finish your meditation. Do you need a roll for that for your merit?
Yes, I can. You so desire.
Let's go ahead and get that.
Yeah.
As there was a little bit of an interruption there, I feel like rolling is fine in this case.
Sure. Let's see here. And I need, it's half an hour per roll. And I think I need 4 successes. And on the suggested modifiers, it does list a meditation room. Would you say that that's an appropriate accommodation that Victor might have?
Of course.
Oh, yes, certainly. I didn't want to assume. But yeah, let me see how quickly I can finish this.
Ooh.
Oh, so it takes me about an hour, I guess, to finish my preparations for the day.
All right.
Partake.
As you finish your morning ritual, you make your way out, and you begin to make the trip to Watford. How you do this is... Oh, I am so sorry, everybody on the stream. I am getting a little bit of a hiccup sometimes that happens. So, how exactly does Victor travel normally when not being driven someplace by Rick?
I imagine if he's not being driven by Rick, he's probably being driven by someone else. And I imagine he rings up his chauffeur to take him to Watford, to the residence of this Jacob Smith, and perhaps we'll see once we get there as to his approach. But for now, he's just going to make his way there and let the rest of the cell know that that is his intent.
All right. Doesn't take that long. Actually, I should ask, in what direction is Victor's family estate? North side of London, south side of London?
I'm not too terribly familiar with the area. But I imagine it's a bit out of the city. Though I imagine Victor probably has a private residence as well, some sort of luxury condo or something in the city proper. It would be just a bit unbecoming of him to stay at home all the time. But of course, there are certain amenities to the ancestral estate. I imagine the family home is somewhere outside of the city, away from the rabble, the peasantry, as it were.
All right. Well, just for convenience sake, say that it takes you roughly about an hour to get there. It is a small residential neighborhood. Something you would expect maybe through a warped perception, maybe just a little bit. What you would consider low class, even though realistically it's probably upper middle class, honestly. It's a nice little townhouse situated side by side. Not anything remarkable or anything noteworthy. However, you are still going to beat him there. Unless you legitimately wait for hours for him to come back.
I think, considering I've beaten him here, in the intervening time, I guess, has anyone else made any indication that they are heading this way as well, or am I flying solo in this regard? I guess that'll kind of determine his approach to this.
What morning is it?
Cecil.
Like 7, 8, maybe, I think.
Rick's probably got another hour or two before he wakes up. He's probably not going to be up to like 9 or 10.
Yeah. So, Cecil, where exactly were you heading? Were you following it directly back or not? I do need an answer to that.
Nope. As soon as he saw that it was heading in the general direction of home, he would split off and make his own way home, to his own home.
All right. So with that, what you're going to find is that it seems like you are flying solo, Victor. And it does seem like there is somebody home. You would assume that this is probably the fiancé. You see her come to the windows occasionally, looking out. Give me a perception.
Sure.
As you are a little distance away here, so...
Yeah, let's see. Wits and composure. 4 successes.
Nice.
You also had that on 8 again.
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't unclick.
Well, he didn't roll
any
any.
8s. Well, he did roll 2 9s though.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, 2 successes, I guess.
Okay, 2 successes. That's perfectly fine. With that, you're able to tell by the look on her face she's concerned, and she usually always has a phone to her ear as if she's trying to get a hold of somebody.
I think Victor might be able to use this to his advantage. The concerned fiance, someone needs a reassuring voice in such a trying time, and I think Victor will try and make that jump to knock on the door and see if he can't have a chat with the fiance, Miss McLean, and see if we can strike up a conversation.
As you go up to knock, the door is actually answered rather quickly, and Catherine gives a start as she sees you. You can very clearly tell from the look on her face she was not expecting you to be at the door. Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting somebody. How can I help you?
Miss McLean, I assume.
How do you know my name?
I'm so dreadfully sorry for the disturbance. I know it's a bit early in the morning. So sorry if I had awoken you. But I'm aware of your fiance, Mr. Smith, Jacob, as it were.
Oh, you know where he's at? He didn't come home last night. And then there was...
Yeah. Excuse me, don't allow me to interrupt. Please, continue.
I was just concerned because, there was like a bear sighting or something. She shakes her head, at the absurdity of a bear being in London.
Yes. What a strange tale, as it were. I suppose have some good news for you. I share your concern for Jacob, and I just wanted to let you know that your fiance is safe, and he is on his way home, and he's run into a bit of trouble, I'm afraid. Do you mind if I come in?
Yes, come in. Is that why he's not answering his phone? What kind of trouble? What do you mean?
Now, you kind of wait to, get situated a bit, and how, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how distraught is this woman? Is she, like, absolutely frantic, or is it kind of like a mild to, moderate concern?
It was mild to moderate when you answered the door. Now it has escalated a little bit. Being a man of such etiquette, etc., I would say you'd be able to read these things pretty well. Unless you want, like, more specific information. Yeah, she just seems a little bit more unnerved than she was as she answered the door.
Yes. Time to swoop in, as it were. I want to be the comforting presence, the shoulder to cry on, so to speak, to relieve her of her fears and come in kind of very empathetic, kind of reassure her that everything is all right, even though these concerns are kind of gnawing at her mind, and just provide that calm, gentle reassurance. As a
manipulation, empathy here.
Sure.
You're a bad man.
Oh, please, I'm comforting this poor, distraught woman.
Hold up, we just lost the camera.
Nope, sorry. That was me. My bad. I was trying to move a window so I could see you guys better, and I clicked the button.
No, that's all right. Let's see here. Manipulation. And empathy. And, I want to really excel at this, so I think I'll spend a point of willpower. Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll that. 3 successes.
On 8 again?
Again.
It should just be normal, is it not?
It says 8 again at the bottom.
And you rerolled the 8 and a 9.
I have normal clicked on my sheet. I don't know why it's still...
That is sometimes an issue. Sometimes it doesn't auto-update. Might need to refresh Roll20.
Well, you got 2 successes at least.
Yeah, it's 2 successes at the very least, so...
Let me refresh here, see if that fixes the issue. 2 successes, yes.
Yes. So what exactly are you saying?
Dice, right? I think. Okay.
So I'm gonna kind of, right as those tensions are kind of reaching their threshold, that terminal limit of the breakdown, I'm gonna kind of swoop in as maybe pull out the lovely kind of embroidered handkerchief, give her a little something to hold on to, as I inform her in the most I would say abstract of terms that her fiance has embroiled himself in a bit of a situation, I'm afraid. And
what sort of situation? She says.
I'm afraid he's gotten into a bit of trouble, Catherine, and some people are after him, I'm afraid. And I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but as a concerned individual regarding your fiancé, I've come here to both inform you and hopefully relieve you of this situation and see that it comes to a peaceful resolution. I know you're this comes at a very bad time given your upcoming wedding, of course. This is something that you don't need on your plate at this moment. You should be more concerned about your big happy day. And hopefully, once Mr. Smith returns, we can discuss this matter and see that it's resolved.
And I think with that, we're gonna go on our break.
Nice, Victor.
Very good.
I was kind of hoping that he would get the chance to do this solo. I think it might go a little poorly if we show up with a whole cell of people to confront this guy.
That's a good call.
So how's everybody in the chat doing real quick?
Are we off camera?
As he runs away. How's everybody run away?
Yes, the advertisement roll is up, just so you know.
Cool.
Burp.
Runs away again.
Gotta feed the dogs real quick. I just remembered I did not do that earlier.
That's important.
I'll be right back to go get more tea.
Him it is, for sure.
Mm.
How long is the break?
10 minutes, I think.
10. Man, I could really use something to eat.
Go get a pizza.
I'm wondering if I have something down in the deep freezer I can bring up. I'm gonna go check it real quick after I feed the dogs because they haven't eaten at all today, and I've at least munched on a couple things.
So that's twice you'll be eating the same thing as your character. First was pizza, now it's frozen food.
Yes. When my bard that I play in D&D, I always decide what he's drinking before because he's always drinking, and oftentimes will mimic that at the table. I never get like drunk while playing, but like if he's acquired several bottles of like wine, then I'll go find like red wine or the white wine, or if he's currently using a flask or whatever, I'll get it and I'll sit at the table and drink out of the same thing.
Yeah, we've tried drinking during one game before. It didn't go so well.
I hope everybody in the chat is enjoying the second session of Black Royal Regatta. We currently have 14. We seem to be bouncing around 14 to 15. I did have some internet issues there. I do apologize. Yeah, unfortunately, for some reason, my computer decided to try to connect via the Ethernet wire, which you would think, oh, that's good. No, for some reason, my upload speed gets quartered through the Ethernet cable. I get much better speeds on the Wi-Fi. Yeah, no, it makes zero. I don't have a Switch. I think it has to do with the wire, honestly.
If you're not using like an all-in-one combo, like if you have like separate like wireless access points and stuff that plug into your router or modem, you may want to try swapping the ports they're plugged into with your Ethernet cable, and then see if the problem migrates from
Nope.
Nope. Cool.
Is it an old cable?
Actually, no, it's one of the newer cables that the internet provider gave us.
Something I think we forgot about during the identification roll. We also get the informed condition regarding
Yes.
the creature.
It hasn't. I hadn't forgotten it. It just was one of those things that hadn't really came up because there were no further rolls regarding it. So yeah. But yes, everybody has the informed condition, including Vanessa, technically, because it does state just everybody in the cell.
How do I add that condition to my sheet? Do I add it to my sheet?
I think there is a way to do that.
There is on your
There's a-
sheet
There's a
page.
little spot on the right side on like page 2 that just says conditions, and you manually type it in.
Yep.
Yeah, top of your character sheet, conditions, and then you just add one in. You have to type everything, but
Be right back real fast.
Yeah, there's one on the front page, or if you want, you could go to like page 3 or something and like add a whole like section and have like the condition and like the actual effects if you want to go through that.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I'll add a thing called conditions, and then cool. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Informed about
Also, yeah.
Werebear.
Yes.
Dude.
Werebear.
so I'm wondering if we'll need a monster lore roll at some point, figure out weaknesses.
If you guys decide to research monster lore, I mean, it is kind of on par for the Abbey to go in with not necessarily go off half-cocked.
Yes.
I
What is
think-
that thing? I'm gonna go poke it with a stick.
I think we've kind of moved past the that point.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
I think we're leaning now towards the diplomatic angle, at least until this inevitably goes south. But let's see.
Be
You know?
prepared.
I'm fairly comfortable that Mr. Werebear isn't going to maul me with his bride-to-be in attendance.
What are you doing with my wife?
Rick's plan was to get up in the morning and then head to the house and do what you're doing, or meet up with somebody afterwards, or like come in kind of behind you or something. But that was before Vanessa brought a 16-year-old orphan home.
Now, actually, I do need to ask a little bit of a sensitive question, so I'm going to apologize to anybody in the chat at this moment that may be sensitive to this type of stuff. Vanessa, what drug did you exactly take? Because you're ODing on it.
Oh. I was thinking, like, the time I was taking it, I was probably doing, like, marijuana, but I don't think you can OD on that. So.
No, you wouldn't OD on
Maybe
marijuana.
You had a little
Well,
something
you-
mixed.
I
you
probably mixed it with someone else.
You
Yeah.
forgot what
You can-
mixed it with.
You can green out for a while and think you're, or it could be laced.
I would be going the laced angle in this situation.
Yeah.
And
To
since
either give you a bad batch.
And as everybody is back, we are going to go ahead and... Oh, yep.
Huh?
Well, there for a second I didn't see... I just saw Mel's not in camera, and now I see the cat.
Ah. Why am I here?
But since everybody's here, we are going to... Yes, we are. Coming back from break. So with that...
I should monitor the chat.
We are actually going to go back to Rick and Nathan real quick to see, as they have woken up from whatever short nap they had after that, to see Vanessa still completely unconscious upon the couch.
Rick's gonna walk past her, go into the kitchen, fix a glass of ice water, come back in, take a big sip, and then just like pour it on her head.
No reaction.
Did that.
Like he's getting ready to laugh, like it's gonna be funny, and then when nothing happens, he looks at Nathan and goes,
Oh, that's a problem.
that's a problem, Nathan.
Okay.
That's not drunk.
I was not given all the information.
Obviously. What the fuck did she do? What did she do?
Gonna search her.
You do that. I'm gonna go get a kit, and I imagine I have like a well stocked first aid kit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
With smelling salts and kind of a hunter's best friend kind of deal almost. But I imagine with Vanessa in the party, I probably also have an EpiPen for an adrenaline shot, and then also probably have was it naproxone? What's that? The drug that you give people when they're overdosing?
Yeah, I forget the name of it.
I probably have a few vials of that, along with like a couple of EpiPens, and then all the other stuff. So I'm gonna go upstairs and get that.
So as you go upstairs to get that, you awaken Elizabeth as she kind of comes to the door, still quite bleary-eyed. What's going on?
Oh, Vanessa's just still asleep, and we're gonna wake her up. Are you good?
She's like, I'm still a little tired, but I can't. I can't lay down any longer.
You should get some sleep, some more sleep if you're still tired. Just don't go downstairs yet. I have to deal with Vanessa first. But if you walk through that hallway over there, and around the corner, there's a kitchenette. Help yourself.
She kind of nods and then immediately makes her way that direction. Nathan, you're investigating. Are you actually investigating, or are you doing more of like a medical examination?
I was gonna search her to see if there's any clues as to what she actually took, which might help in the medicine.
Okay, investigation.
With wits?
Yes, wits. Sorry.
Not very good, but it's one success. All right.
You do find blunts laying around. A few of them.
Okay.
So,
well,
not exceedingly helpful, but that is what is.
It's probably. I wouldn't know if they're laced with anything without any further tests. So.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'll just do the medicine roll. What's medicine? I'm going to spend a willpower to make this rote, because it's an asset skill for first aid.
All right. Since this is attached to first aid and you don't necessarily have the needed instruments to actually tell you what it is, you very quickly are able to deduce that she is definitely ODing.
Okay.
Which you know is not generally something associated with marijuana smoking.
So she definitely took something else. I'm gonna yell up to wherever Rick is and say, "Rick, you got any?" And I don't know. I don't remember the drug name, but
Naloxone.
Yeah.
It's only for opioid stuff, but you know, I've got that and probably like an EpiPen for an adrenaline pump. And about the time you're yelling, Rick will come back down the stairs and just hold out 2 vials. One's the naloxone, and the other, and the thing in his other hand is an EpiPen. And be like, I don't know what to give her.
Out of character, I don't know either.
Rich people take shit.
Is this
so
like that scene from Pulp Fiction?
For both.
I'm just gonna walk over with the naloxone, and I think it's like a spray or something. It's like a nasal, I think it's like a nasal spray. Just like shove it up her nose and squirt it.
I was say, would my medicine roll allow me to know which one to give her?
Unfortunately, because you're not, you know it's not necessarily the marijuana itself. You know there's something else there, but you can't 100% confirm without obviously actual medical testing whether it would be an opioid where that would work, or if she just needs something to reboot her system, essentially.
I'll hand the naloxone to Nathan, since just in case there's a roll involved.
Okay.
Rick's like, look, rich people come over, they take shit, so I have this stuff, but I haven't had to do it before. Here.
Okay, so I'm gonna take everything he gives me, and I'm gonna give her whatever she needs. Again, I don't personally know what that is, but I am assuming Nathan would have a better idea.
Yeah, the naloxone is for overdoses. The adrenaline is for, I don't know.
Jump-starting the system.
Jumpstart.
We'll start with the overdose.
All right. So, this is why I was kind of asking over the break. Vanessa, is this going to be an opioid overdose? I'm going to let you choose what overdose it is.
Oh, man. I'm gonna roll in this. I'm gonna roll a d10, and if it's a 5 or low, it's opioid, and 6 or higher, it's someone else. It's someone else.
Something else. Great.
You wait.
So wrong.
You wait the recommended time frame. Still no response. At this point, You've
Time to
obviously
reboot.
You've obviously taken her pulse. Her pulse is very, very weak. Her heartbeat is irregular at best.
All right. Well then, I am ill-equipped in these facilities.
Yeah, Rick's gonna like hit the intercom down to the desk and be like,
Call an ambulance.
I need
We
an
to get a
ambulance
purge.
and I need discretion and I need it now.
Yes, sir. Ambulance is going to be maybe an hour or so out. Traffic.
Is it closer to the top or the bottom here? Get a helicopter.
I mean, this is we're on the top and my helicopter is on the roof.
I mean, if
But you can't just like fly to a hospital and land on it. Like there's a whole thing.
Okay.
would you like them to send a helicopter? I think I could arrange
Yes.
that. Airbus?
Yeah, she
All
may
right.
be dead in another hour.
We will get an Airbus.
Rick, move your car.
Oh shit! I'll go because it's probably only for one. It's probably only for one helipad. So I don't know how to drive it. I just own it. They're gonna have to land in the fucking. They're gonna have to land in the street. I don't know what to tell you. I can't move it.
You can move it, but I'm gonna require a roll, and it's gonna be fun.
Nope. I am not flying my helicopter. I gave my drone away because I don't fly it well.
Where's your driver? Call your driver.
Let's get her up to the roof. Well, we can. I'm gonna buzz back down and be like, tell them the helipad's occupied. That will have her down on street level.
All right, I will notify them of the change.
And we'll get Vanessa down to the street level.
At this, obviously,
In a brief, I cause Rick.
it's at this point that obviously Catherine has caught the buzz and has moved downstairs to see all the hubbub. But we're gonna pause that and actually go check in on Cecil.
He went to sleep.
Yep.
He's been up all night. He went to bed.
Well, it's roughly about 10 a.m. Is he up yet?
So, like the range of the drone isn't really that far. So he would have needed to have kept up with Jacob on foot. So, not in any hurry. He would have, taken however long it took him to walk back to his car. So I imagine some hours. So at this point, he might have only been asleep for like 3 or 4 hours. So he's probably not awake.
Okay. Then we're gonna go check on Nora.
Nora wakes up with like lines from the pillow all over her face, and like her glasses are like tilted to the side and like skewed, and she has to get up because she can smell her grandma's breakfast in the other room. She's making the traditional Scottish breakfast of like haggis and beans and sausage and bacon and tatey scones, and so I'm gonna go and have breakfast and then check on my phone and see if anybody messaged about anything, if there's anything new. But I'm taking my sweet time, and unlike Victor's like super posh, just kind of like in routine, I'm basically shoveling food into my mouth and then just kind of like putting sunscreen on, and then my glasses go back on.
As
Dude, there is another text message that adds to the thread that says Vanessa OD'd, medevac en route. At the bottom, like Vanessa brings home 16-year-old. Vanessa OD'd, medevac en route.
Seems like I need to put more dots in stamina.
as Nora sighs, your grandma looks over. What's wrong, sweetie?
Oh, Nora, worry about it, Nana. I just might have to get going a little bit earlier than usual today. Are you gonna be okay alone at home?
Oh, I really wish that you could stay here more often, but I know you and your friends, you have stuff you have to do. I should be fine.
Okay, Grandma. Remember, you can order anything off of the takeout menus that I have in the cabinet there. I have all the numbers, like, on speed dial on the phone for you, in case you need to call. Because she's, like, basically blind, so she can't see the numbers to call, so she has to just press whatever number. It's like, if it's the Chinese place, she, like, hangs up and calls the pizza place or whatever.
Sheena, I'll be fine. Just try to be back early today. I'll make your favorite dinner.
Okay, Grandma. I'll try. And then I kiss her, like, on the head before I leave. I, like, grab my backpack with all my camera gear and I just, like, head out the door with a piece of tatty scone, like, holding it like an anime girl holds a piece of toast, you know?
I would say by the time you reach there, you would reach there around the same time the ambulance is getting there, so we are actually going to put a pin in that and go back to Victor.
Okay.
Right back.
So, your conversation with this Catherine goes on. She's asking what you would consider normal questions. Who's after him? Like, and why are they after him? You know, he's well liked at work. You know, he doesn't really have any enemies to my knowledge.
My dear, I'm afraid to inform you that your fiance has unfortunately made some very, shall we say, unfortunate enemies.
Ooh, how?
Now, I don't want to go into the details too much with you, dear. I think that's probably best a conversation to be had when your husband-to-be arrives. It's best if you hear some of these things from him. I don't want to intrude on your relationship, of course. I'm really concerned about you and Jacob's well-being.
With that, a few hours pass by. And by a few hours, I mean, we're looking at probably 4 to 5 hours. When a very bedraggled looking man enters the townhouse. You can hear the keys jingle in the door. She looks up, Catherine looks up excitedly and as soon as he walks in, you hear her voice, Jacob! Oh, good, you're okay. I was so worried. His voice is very, very low. I'm perfectly fine, Catherine. Who's this? And it's at this point I am gonna make a roll. He is immediately going to... This is a wits, okay? This isn't a good roll by any stretch. If you want to oppose this, I would do composure plus expression.
Expression? What am I contesting?
Essentially, he's trying to read you as a very general sense. He's trying to get...
Subterfuge be more appropriate?
Yeah,
then?
could I use subterfuge to conceal my...
I was thinking about that, but I felt subterfuge felt a little too aware. This is a very passive thing. You know how you get that chill up your spine when you just... on that one random guy you meet that you just get the chill up your spine about. This is essentially what he's trying to get off of you.
I feel like subterfuge is more active, like you're trying to hide your emotions.
Yeah. That's
okay. What's the role? Expression and what?
Composure.
Yeah, sure.
Don't worry, he doesn't have any skills in his empathy, so I mean, he's taking a negative to it as well.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
One success.
Expression. And does it calculate automatically the
Yes.
untrained empathy?
Yes, it does.
All right.
2 successes.
As you kind of look at him, you see his body visibly tense for a second, but then relax. Who are you?
Oh, pardon my manner. I didn't want to intrude on your reunion. I am Monsieur Delacroix. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Smith.
And at this point, Catherine kind of turns to you. Meet his acquaintance? It sounded like you already knew him.
I know of your fiancée, Miss McLean. I was hoping we'd have a chance to discuss the matters that we've had the time to discuss. But where are my manners? I'm sure you've been through quite a lot, Mr. Smith. I understand if you need to take some time to collect yourself or have a conversation with your bride-to-be, or simply to and kind of looks up and down. I'm guessing he's a bit worse for wear, maybe a little bit of dirt kind of caked on him, and perhaps to refresh yourself, of course. If that's what you wish.
He adjusts himself a little bit. You start noticing he's definitely taking on a bit more of a protective stance. He has moved his body to impose himself between you and Catherine. I'm honestly a bit more interested in knowing what you're doing in my house than I am for resting or giving myself a pedicure.
Understandable, Mr. Smith. May I call you Jacob?
That's fine.
Excellent. Jacob, then. I've been meaning to talk to you. I was hoping we'd have an opportunity to discuss some matters and get to the, shall we say, find a solution for your predicament that you find yourself in. Jacob.
Listen. Delacroix, was it?
Yes, Delacroix. Victor, if you must.
Victor. Listen, Victor, I'm not a man of your society, and he kind of makes a gesture at your countenance. Your suit, your tie. I'm assuming you're dressed to the nines as usual.
Of course.
So, I would like to keep things in plain spoken English here. Instead of trying to use eloquence to hide what you're really talking about, just talk straight.
Mr. Smith, are you sure this is a conversation you wish to be having with the three of us?
I am going to roll a wits plus composure here.
Just the two of us.
Wow.
Very, very calmly. Catherine, I need you to go get the groceries today. I know we normally go together, but I have a feeling you're not going to want to be here for this conversation. She nods, and he hands her the keys to the car from his pocket, and she leaves. As she leaves, he shuts and locks the door behind her.
Uh-oh.
He looks at you with a very pointed look. Well, continue your thought.
Jacob, you've been a rather naughty boy, haven't you? Or should I say, perhaps a rather naughty. I hate to use the word animal, but your display was, well, a bit primal, as it were.
You do well to choose your next few words very, very carefully.
Oh, please, Jacob, I'm not here to threaten you. Good heavens, no, quite the opposite, really. You see, I am a concerned citizen of London, and, well, you aren't exactly subtle, I'm afraid. And I'm not the only concerned citizen in London. You've made a rather unfortunate mess of things, I'm afraid. And more individuals than myself have, unfortunately, taken notice of your nocturnal activities, Jacob. It's regrettable that we need to be having this conversation, but I feel the need to reach out and, well, share perhaps a bit of advice, a warning, perhaps an offer of aid, as it were. See, I peg you as a reasonable man, Jacob. You have a lot ahead of you. You have such a lovely fiancée, and I'm sure she shall be a wonderful bride. And
as you mention his fiancée, what was an average-sized man before you is still a man. He has not shifted, so to speak. He has grown roughly about another foot. Visibly grown. He is now probably pushing 7'1", 7'2". At the mere you mentioning Catherine,
Victor, did you tell us that you were going?
I
Or are
did.
you okay?
Okay.
You guys are aware. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
And I'm imagining there's been a bit of back and forth in the intervening hours while I was making chit chat with the wife, or the soon to be wife, Catherine. But
At whatever point Vanessa is handled, I'll probably let Catherine know to just kind of make herself at home, because anything important to mine and all the master suite is behind an extra layer of things.
You mean Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
Yeah, sorry, I mixed the two names up.
That's fine.
Let her know to kind of make herself at home, but to stay downstairs. That's where the guest rooms and stuff are, and the guest kitchen and everything. And my stuff's got an extra layer of locking and things behind it. But once Vanessa's taken care of, I'll be heading towards Victor.
Once Vanessa's actually at the hospital, since you're not family, they aren't going to let you any further. So pretty much as soon as she's at the hospital, you guys are turned away.
I'd be surprised if they let us on the medevac.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Yeah. So once the helicopter's like with her, like having read the messages, looking at Nathan, be like, well, I guess we're headed to meet Victor.
I'll meet you there. I'm going to pick something up.
Okay.
Also, I would like to state that by this time Nora has arrived at the location, so Nora is part of your group. The only one that is not there is Cecil, who is still asleep at this time.
I was gonna say he might be waking up if we're if there's been some extra hours passing by this point.
About an hour.
Like,
So it's probably about 11 a.m.
Yeah. maybe not.
I mean, there, riding with me then. Point at Nora.
Serious thought has to be given here. Serious consideration.
Fine. But I kind of
All
wanted
right.
to stay with Vanessa because, I mean, of course, I leave her alone for 1 second and none of these doofuses take care of her. Rick.
Vanessa is a grown woman, unlike the person she brought home and then OD'd with. Oh my god.
I'm blaming you 100%.
I blame Rick too. It's all his fault.
Mm-hmm.
You are in
Nathan left.
house,
I
Vanessa.
just throw my arms up and walk off, and I walk inside, and I'm like, and I walk up to the desk, and I'm like, bring the R8 around, please, quickly, and I'll hand him a $100 bill.
So with that, you guys are going to be taking off, heading towards the direction of Victor. I do want to take a moment here and address Vanessa.
Oh.
Vanessa,
Yes.
you slowly begin to come to while in the ambulance.
Oh.
That's nice.
As they obviously they're aware that it was an overdose and that the drug did not work. They have the equipment to actually start trying to do other things to help purge your system. So you slowly begin to wake up from your overdose.
Okay. I'm imagining I got like some sort of killer headache. And probably still a good bit like addled and out of it. But yeah, I'll probably just like mumble something out like, where am I?
The paramedic. Oh, good, you're awake. How many fingers am I holding up?
3.
Using the blur.
To be honest, yeah, it was a bit blurred when it went by, so.
I think that was on purpose.
Okay, what is your name?
Vanessa.
Do you have any family that we can call?
Nope. Don't call family, nope.
And I would have handed them one of my cards when they picked Vanessa up and been like, keep me up to date if you can. So they'll have that.
Yeah, I got like, I have my lawyer's cards if you need to contact them. Yeah, I probably have like my lawyer as like my emergency contact.
I don't think we need to contact your lawyer at this time.
Oh, thank God.
Do you know what you took?
I feel like I'm gonna need to try to make a memory roll here.
Are you still fatigued?
I've been unconscious for a while, but I'm probably still drugged, I imagined.
Yes, you still have the drug condition.
Yeah, so
What'd that do, by the way?
Intelligence wits to try to remember what I
Yes.
took.
Wits plus intelligence.
Fuck if I know.
All right, you seem to still be a little bit out of it. We're gonna get you back to the hospital. We are going to admit you. We're gonna have to do a tox screen. It's gonna be a while.
Oh, whatever.
And with that, we are gonna go back to Victor.
So, Mr. Smith is posturing, as it were, prickling a bit at the mention of Catherine. And I think this is where Victor is going to do his best to, shall we say, de-escalate the situation. Not that necessarily he's been escalating it, but I've tried to keep this as civil as possible, but these reactions can't be helped. Victor will reiterate that I'm not here, Jacob, to threaten you. This isn't anything of that sort. I've had the opportunity to have a chat, as it were, and from what I've gleaned, you seem to be a good man. And I hate when bad things happen to good people. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, to your fiancée.
And nothing will. I will make sure of that.
You, my new acquaintance, Jacob, I am fairly confident in your, shall we say, ability to protect yourself, as it were. But you, unfortunately, have drawn undue attention to yourselves. People that I know that will not stop. Not at you. You will not be... How do I put this?
It sounds like you're going to threaten her again.
I am not threatening her. I want nothing of the sort to befall Catherine. She's such a wonderful, wonderful woman. But these people that have taken notice of your activities, they are not afraid of resorting to such measures. I'm afraid they will quite gleefully jump at such an opportunity to hurt both her and you, and I want nothing of the sort to happen. I love a good love story, and I would love to see this have a happy ending. I come to offer my services as a concerned citizen to resolve the situation that you've unfortunately found yourself in through no action of your own, I am sure. I represent an organization of similarly concerned individuals. I've come to give you a bit of a heads up, a warning, as well, and to offer my aid and assistance if that is something that you are interested, knowing who's coming after you, how they're coming after you. These are things that are my purview information. Something I'm all too willing to share to preserve this bond that you formed. Now, Victor kind of reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a business card, as it will, kind of bone white. There's some subtle embossing on the card, and he just kind of sets it on the little coffee table out to Mr. Smith, to Jacob, excuse me. Now, if you're interested in dealing with this problem cleanly, professionally, to know what you're up against, all you should have to do is ask Jacob. And I will extend every asset and avenue available to me to ensure that you and Catherine are safe, and that no further intrusions are made upon your quiet, happy life.
He picks up the business card. Wow, what exactly does it say on that card?
I imagine it lists Victor's name, and it lists him as a consultant on the title, and a little phone number at the bottom to reach him at.
He nods and he does pocket the card, but then he gives you as he looks over you, he says very plainly, "Through no fault of my own, you assume? That is where you would be mistaken."
would you care to clarify your situation if that's not too personal? I'd hate to make an incorrect assumption.
He takes a deep breath and he goes, well, since you're so interested, Catherine maybe hasn't had the easiest of lives. That was a former... And he picks his next words very carefully. Friend of hers that gave her some hard times. I was making sure that they got what they deserved. I'm very much in control at all times.
Of course. And Victor maybe just gives another second look at the perhaps dirt and other unidentifiable substances caked onto him. Of course. I would certainly hope so.
And tell your friends. And he does kind of lace that word with a bit more saliva than you would really need for that word. A little bit of spittle coming off of his mouth. That let them come. I will bring all of them low. You aren't the first to try and make one of these deals with me. You certainly won't be the last. I will extend the same humor that I gave the other one. I will let you leave here with your legs unbroken and still attached where they are supposed to be.
No. Well, what a lovely courtesy.
Oh, Jacob.
And I assure you, of course, I've extended you the same courtesy. Your Catherine is unaware of your condition, as it were. Consider that a courtesy exchanged, as it were. That's not my place to intrude upon a conversation you should best lead. But, that confidence of yours is perhaps a bit ill-placed. And as he kind of makes his way towards the door, he kind of mentions that the people that you've fallen afoul of, they're not going to fight you in a fair fight. This isn't going to be some barroom brawl, Jacob. They're going to fight dirty. It's not going to be pretty. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to come to that. If you want to fight them in a fair fight, if you want that even ground, where you will win, I can make that happen. And he gives him a little wink.
And with that, we're going to move on to Cecil, who just woke up.
Scheming.
Noon, 1 p.m.
Somewhere around there.
You have received quite a few messages and alerts on your phone.
Which was silenced. I need my sleep. Leave me alone. So, yeah, he He scrolls through them on his phone and eyebrows up because you did what? you went and talked with him alone? Okay, all right.
Very last one's probably Nate from Rick saying me nor Nathan en route. Nathan is separate.
And Vanessa OD'd and in the hospital. Okay. Well, I guess it's time to saddle up and head down there.
You also heading towards the Victor's location? There we go.
Yeah, in the G class, just in case.
In the G class. Excellent. Well, Rick and Nora, as well as Nathan, beat you by about 30 minutes. They seem to be congregating outside with Victor. I'm assuming you haven't went too far away, Victor, at this time.
No. Probably just, out of line of sight of the house, a couple block or two or so down the street.
Yeah, Victor probably finishes his conversation before we get there,
Mm-hmm.
and so then we'll stop a couple blocks over, and knowing that he's exited safely, and just find like a cafe to go sit at or something.
Like a fair arrangement.
And I imagine that update will get sent to Cecil as well.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of awkward. Somebody else showing up to Jacob's house right after Victor warned him about other people coming after him.
Yeah, I imagine Victor will probably send some sort of notification after he leaves.
And when we get to the cafe, Rick will do like a pin drop into the message so that you can.
Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, the nearest cafe is a Starbucks.
I can't believe there's a Starbucks in the UK.
So something a little different from for Rick from last night, since there was some sleep and everything before they headed out today. He's actually wearing just like a turtleneck sweater, kind of tight fitting, jeans, sneakers, nothing fancy. He has an actual 5 o'clock shadow that he didn't bother trimming. His hair is actually kind of messy, and he's got like a bomber jacket on. It's kind of somewhere in between a jacket and a motorcycle jacket, but not really either, kind of deal. The pants don't look like $4,000 pants. They look like a pair of Wranglers. The shirt actually has like an American Eagle logo on it, like up here somewhere. It's kind of out of place, and the Starbucks, he doesn't seem to mind.
So, with everybody having arrived, with the exception of one Vanessa, who I'm assuming by this point may have actually sent a message checking in, being like, I'm awake.
Yeah, so after seeing what's been mentioned in the group chat about you've landed and whatnot, a very simple message is issued from Vanessa's cell phone, and it's just let's blow up his house.
I'm glad we're using encrypted phones with encrypted messaging. Because there's no way we don't. We have too much money. At this level, you don't text your wife without it being encrypted.
Are we sure Vanessa isn't encrypted? Because she sounds like a chaos fairy.
It's probably a phone that we gave her. Get her drunk, take her phone, smash it with a hammer, and then be like, "It's fine. We handled it all last night. Here's your replacement. The contacts have already been transferred."
You must think of me as a child.
She says from her hospital bed while recovering from an OD after bringing a stranger home.
No, it's not my home. I brought him then too.
Even better.
An underage.
Prosecution rests.
It's Rick's problems now.
You brought a strange child to someone else's house and then OD'd and passed out.
You are pure id, sir. I love it. So we're all up at the cafe.
Yep.
Victor, I assume, fills us in.
Of course, yes. And I assume you share the details of this child that you've, well, young adult, excuse me, that you've taken.
Yeah, I'll say, you know, I won't get into the blue skin and stuff because we're in public. But I'll say I think I buy the story. I think that needs to be a much longer discussion this afternoon at home. But and I kind of look around and make sure like there's not people around us paying any attention. Say, so it doesn't sound like he's gonna play ball.
I think he's interested.
We'll give him a couple of days.
No, Victor, he said there was another?
I believe he made some mention, yes, of some others making attempts in the past.
I'm gonna
Is that
look
one of
at
the other cells beat us to him, or just a random?
I think he means a normal hunter.
I get the implication that this was in the not so recent past.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that we were the first to reach Mr. Smith.
So we have options with him. We can give him time to see if he bites, since he rebuffed you at first. But that leaves an opening for someone else.
Now, I hate to stoop to this level, but if Jacob doesn't want to play ball, as it were, his fiancée is another matter entirely.
You know, if she was moved somewhere to keep her safe from him, to make sure that he didn't lose control again while he was around her, I can't think of a better leash.
I think such overt attempts are not going to resolve amicably. But I think if Mr. Smith is not willing to play ball, to work with us, I am almost absolutely certain that Catherine is more than willing. And if Catherine is willing to deal with this problem, there's no doubt that Mr. Smith will come to that same conclusion. Happy wife, happy life. Am I right?
I don't disagree. The problem is that that's more of a long game, and we found him in 12 hours.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes. Whoa. I
Now,
must sincerely thank you for your efforts.
We don't know what the other lists are. They may even all be identical. But there's a good chance he could check a few different boxes. And while we are exceptionally good, thank you again, Nora, at finding people, I can't imagine the others are very far behind us. Another day, maybe? We responded quick because we were in the right place at the right time, but somebody with access to the police, to this guy, once they identify him, they connect him to people. There's a lot of threads there to get pulled. You weren't full of shit when you said he's probably on people's radar, and if we play a long game, we could lose a shot.
Well, at the very least, we've put Mr. Smith on edge, as it were. Even if we do nothing, even if he doesn't reach out to us, he's at least cognizant of the threat towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Does bode us some small advantage. We've at least soured someone else's hunt, I suppose. Well, made it more interesting. Let's put it that way.
So, real quick, as Vanessa slowly regains more and more of her cognitive abilities, the drug slowly leaving the system and all that, at a certain point, you are going to be deemed at least mentally fit. Of course, after an overdose of that nature, they're going to recommend that they monitor you for 24 hours at the very least. However,
No monitoring needed.
you're gonna sign yourself out.
Yeah, I'll sign myself out.
Excellent. I wanted to confirm that.
I'm not the kind of person to take medical advice. Clearly, people.
Clearly.
All right, I just wanted to confirm that, so I have a mental path here. So as this conversation between the group goes on, is there anything Nathan and Cecil would like to add, who have thus remained quiet at this conversation so far?
I was just thinking, if he's not willing to cooperate, we give him a better reason to cooperate. Whether because of helping him or prodding him in the right direction where we want him to be. Carrot or the stick, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It would be better if he didn't know that we had the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So we offer a carrot, and someone else presents the stick.
So you're suggesting...
I mean, we would present a stick, but he wouldn't know it was our stick.
long range, give it a tap.
Mm-hmm.
Cecil? What do you think?
I think he needs to be prevented from killing more people.
Sounds like he killed an abuser.
Well, it was... You
Victor's
said...
story.
Victor, you said he knew what he was doing, but all the evidence of us following him said he had no idea what he was doing, other than in a direction.
Indeed. I can't be certain, per se, of his exact motives, but he seemed generally honest and straightforward with me. I at least didn't get the implication that he was trying to be deceitful. Seems like a fairly honest man, all things considered. My, perhaps, theory was maybe he did intend to do what he did, but perhaps things got a bit out of hand.
Say maybe once he goes bare, maybe it gets all fuzzy. So maybe he found the guy and put himself in the right position.
And
bared out, killed him, and had just enough left to know to run.
Ride it out, as it were.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, if he says he's in control at all times, I'm assuming Victor told us all of that. Then I don't think we have to worry about him hurting civilians.
Not
He did
one
by
that-
his own admission.
I mean, he did. he just thought they deserved it.
I
I'm
mean,
not going to
innocent
make,
civilians, obviously.
yes, I'm not going to make any judgments either way as to if this individual deserved what came to him, but
Could have been an abusive pimp, or could have just been a boyfriend she talked bad about. We don't know.
perhaps an avenue of research, maybe see what connection this victim had to Mr. Smith.
So-
Might give us a bit more on him.
You said Catherine wasn't there. That he sent her out.
Yes.
Yes.
I wonder if she's still grocery shopping. Maybe a conversation with her with him not around.
I think we might need to give this a bit of time to settle. We might seem a bit too desperate, shall we say, if we jump the gun so soon.
I was thinking more about the stick, like Nathan mentioned, but we can hold off.
Yeah, I mean, if we present signs that he is being targeted, even if we're not necessarily targeting him, that will put him more on edge.
On this note, how long do you guys actually spend at this coffee shop, the Starbucks, making these plans?
Oh, text Vanessa. Do you need an extract?
Well, I would assume that Vanessa's already on her way out.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my own
Okay.
stuff.
All right. I meant like, do we need to come like fake our way in and check you out? Are they letting you sign yourself out, kind of deal?
I mean, I'm signed up.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, don't worry, I'm out. Not my first rodeo.
I don't know. Probably not very long. Long enough to get the coffee and just get on the same page.
Okay.
And then Rick will say, let's take the details back, and let me introduce the group of you to Elizabeth.
Speaking of that, Vanessa, are you heading back that same direction, or where are you heading?
So what, like the group, like legit, like the group's heading back to Rick's place to talk to. What's her name?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably show up to that.
Okay. The hospital is noticeably closer than the Starbucks. Especially if you're going by foot, because you're not having to deal with the traffic then, actually. Allows you to cut off.
I actually imagine that Vanessa is the kind of rich person that deliberately takes like public transport as like a form of like slumming it. It's like, she's been raised in limousines her like entire life, and she like goes on trains and buses because to her that's exotic.
Okay, well, if you take a train, you're definitely beating everybody there. Just 100%. So, since Vanessa's going to be the first one there, thanks to her slumming it in the trains, you are the first one to see the police cordons.
Oh. Nice.
As
This is Rick's problem. I'll wait for Rick to show up.
Oh, so you're just gonna wait? All right. Well then.
Well, there's a police cordon around his building. I'm just gonna, like,
She
I'll wait
can't
for
exactly
everybody
go up.
else.
Wouldn't surprise me if she attempted. Was
Well, this is where we draw the line.
I think he was surprised at the reasonability.
just wait. What? So, Rick, you eventually show up to one Hyde Street being completely cordoned off. Vanessa is meandering about, obviously looking at your penthouse building.
I imagine she's like leaned up against like a wall or something outside and like maybe like chewing on like her fingernails, like kind of a bit out of it, but also a bit itchy, a bit like waiting for something.
I'm gonna buzz whoever I have as a personal number for building security on the phone. I'm gonna pick up both through, fall through, and like day shift, head of business, head of building security. Bloop.
And unfortunately, you're gonna get voicemail on that one.
Okay. Call front
When was the last
reception.
time Rick had to deal with voicemail?
He didn't leave a voicemail.
Receptionist, once again, you get voicemail.
Okay.
Rick, you got
I'll look
cameras,
around.
right?
Yeah, I'll pull up the app on the phone and dial into my cameras in my pad, kind of flip through the rooms and see where Elizabeth is.
Obviously, this building has alarms and the like. She has taken cover, and you can barely see like a foot hanging out from underneath a bed.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the camera angle, she probably is completely hidden underneath the bed. It's just the camera angle allows you just the right angle to see like a foot.
I'm gonna hit the thing where I can like talk through the camera, be like, Elizabeth, this is Rick. I'm outside. I don't know do you know what's going on? I haven't tried to talk to anybody yet.
No. She kind of just starts shouting. She does recognize your voice. Nope. I'm not coming out. Nope. I don't care. The alarms started going off, and nope.
Is it the building alarm or the penthouse alarm?
The building. And then she stops herself. How would I know?
So if it was the penthouse alarm, I would know. That was a dumb question. It's been a long night. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna say, are you upstairs? You're still downstairs?
You can tell from the camera you're looking at. Yes, she's downstairs.
Yeah. But I'm trying to keep her talking. I'm gonna say, so I want you to. I'm gonna check the history on the alarm and see if the front door has been opened since we left. If there's like a time step on the sensor.
It has not been opened, but it does look like there was some malfunction, some glitch. So there's a section of time missing.
Stay put, and then. But if I was going to try to send her to like a panic room, but if there's something funky on the front door, then and I guess everybody else is around me to hear all that. I would say, like I said, I buy her story. We need to get to the penthouse.
All right.
Do you have
you-
some sort of secret entrance?
The parking garage connects underground. If they don't have it roped off, we can park and go underground through the parking garage.
I'm gonna go bother the police.
You want me on another building with eyes in every
Yes.
window?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You were Cecil 1. Actually,
Cecil can come in through the top.
Cecil,
Tall building.
Yeah. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
yeah. Cecil, can you get up top?
Probably.
I'm gonna pull my key card out and hand it to you, because I have an entrance from the top because it's where I parked my helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Probably no cops on the roof.
Probably no cops on the roof.
Are they surrounding the building though? You just got to go up the side.
I'm gonna go up onto a different building and come across.
Ah,
Um,
I'm gonna need some parkour rolls here.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're going about all this like secret sneaking in underground, overground sort of stuff. I'm just gonna go up to the front door and bother the police and be like, "Yo, can I come in?"
They obviously immediately stop you, hand out. Sir, madam, you don't want to see what's in there. No, you cannot come up. And as you kind of look into the front door, you
Is this in there? Yeah, I look in the front door.
you can literally see, like, young kid. Looks to probably be maybe 21 at most. Probably fresh out of the academy. Puking his guts in the corner. You do not want to see what's in there, and no.
Now
you
I
can't.
want to see what's in there. You can't just say that.
Immediately puts their hand on your shoulder and forcibly kind of pushes you back from the door.
I'd like to see him try.
no.
No.
He's trying to push me, is he?
He is pushing you unless you do something.
I'm gonna push him.
I'm leaving. She's a great distraction, so I'm going to my trunk, getting what I went to pick up.
I was fixing to ask you, you have gear with you?
Yeah, that's what I went to pick up.
I have an in with the police. If you give me a minute
If you want to try to intervene while this escalates, go ahead.
I'm gonna go interrupt that. Victor, can you make a call?
Yes, give me a few minutes. I'll see what I can do.
Nora, do you have anything in drive?
Anything to drive?
In like the drive skill.
In drive? Hang on.
Player question, not character question.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, what? Rick dares speak directly to me? I don't have anything in drive, no.
Okay, never mind.
Do you need a driver more than you need somebody on the roof?
No, I was gonna get you to pass the drone off if you had it, and let her see if she could get a peek in our windows. But
I was actually thinking that I might have, this is gonna sound like Scooby-Doo strategies, okay? But like, I probably have like a camera on like a little four-wheeler, like, cart, because I want to see what's happening. So I wonder if I can sneak my four-wheeler past to see what the guy's throwing up at, because that'd be amazing, actually.
Okay, so
Can I help her with like that? Like, I'm causing a bit of a distraction here.
Yeah.
Kind of, and not like on purpose. This is kind of just me being me. But I feel like maybe like presence and maybe intimidate to like help.
I would say you're not necessarily. This isn't necessarily you deliberately trying to help, but you are going to give Nora a bonus. So,
Okay.
go ahead and give me wits plus stealth. since you're not necessarily doing the stealth yourself, you're trying to stealth a RC car in, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, not me. Okay.
Something that I'm sure Rick appreciates 10,000%.
Especially because I'm walking to go try to de-escalate the situation to get myself into my own building, and then I'm like, okay, that's happening. You just kind of see me go.
What is the bonus that I'm getting from?
+2.
+2. So 2 dice. Okay.
Yep. 4 successes.
Oh, I'm on fire tonight.
Very nice.
So, you see 5 members of security, or what you would assume is security by their clothing. Nothing but dried out husks.
I take photos, like screenshots of this as it's going along. I don't know the story though yet about whatever it is.
Nope.
We came here to discuss just that.
Yep.
And I'm assuming you're either trying to get it further in or pulling it back at this point.
I'm just trying to get it further in because I don't care about getting it back because I have the feed on my whatever thing. So it's just like as long as I can hide it under a table, I can retrieve it later.
All right.
It's just like.
So, Rick, I'm assuming you.
And I'm like, holy shit, guys. There's something wrong. These people are like. I will use the metaphor Victor used, like dried out like Capri Suns.
As I'm like walking up and I saw the RC car, I'll slow my pace a little bit so that I don't interrupt the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that buzz happens, I'll look at it and I'll say related to the girl. Front door alarm malfunction in penthouse. And put it back in and then walk up.
And I'm assuming you're grabbing Vanessa right as she shoves the cop.
You think you can push me around?
And I'll just put my arm in and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop!" Jesus Christ, I need in.
I'm sorry, there's nobody allowed in. There's been several, for lack of a better word here, murders. I'm concerned.
The dehydrated bodies, I can stomach it. I need to get to my penthouse.
Wait. Dehydrated bodies? We haven't released any information.
I'm standing at the door.
They're not visible from the door. Vanessa did not see them from the door.
I know. But she drove it through something, and I walked up at about the same angle. I'm hoping to just push it to the side and be like, I literally just walked up. I'm standing at the door. I saw it walking up. Listen, I need to get to my penthouse, and I'll point to the very top. I'll say, because there's a problem here, but I don't know if there's a problem there because something really fucking weird happened with my alarm, and I need to go check on it.
And with that, we are going to call this session. So, we're going to do our usual roundup here. We're going to start off with Vanessa. How you thinking, feeling?
Pretty good. Kind of started a bit slow for me, being drugged out of my mind for a good portion of the session, but I think it really picked up when I started threatening the cop.
How you doing, Grog?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
You got to threaten a cop.
I should have put that down as an aspiration.
How you feeling, Rick?
I'm good. Rick is pretty convinced there's something in his apartment that's not supposed to be, and there's cops downstairs, and there's cameras everywhere, and it's not looking great attention-wise. And his primary concern is getting upstairs before whatever this is kills a 16-year-old orphan missing girl in his apartment.
And how you doing, James?
I love this game.
Nothing else to add there?
I'm good.
Excellent. I love that answer. How you doing, Nora?
Nora is excited because I got to see some weird shit. Especially since I got kind of photo blocked earlier with the werebear guy. But I'm feeling good. I just want to get back to Nana pretty soon and have dinner. But yeah, I'm excited about what's happening, even though, you know, sad people died.
And how are you feeling? And how are you feeling, Mels?
I'm feeling good. I really like this game too. Like, this is so much fun. I love you, James. You know, in real life we're friends, but like I am loving hating on Rick.
You're good. You're good. He's gonna win Nora over.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Cecil.
One day she's gonna realize that he's not just the rich pompous asshole that he peacocks to be.
Cecil.
Cecil has been eyeing up that Mandarin Oriental 5-star hotel that's immediately next door to One Hyde Park because it's time to put some dust onto the fingertips and do some climbing. Okay, Cecil's having some problems though because he wants to stop this bear from hurting people, and everybody else, not everybody else, other members of the cell are like, let's do stuff to that dude's wife. Cecil is like, isn't that kind of, you know, like counterproductive to like saving people from monsters and whatnot?
Be clear, Rick didn't want to hurt her. He said move her to somewhere safe to be used as a leash.
I'm so sorry.
Kidnap.
I'm so sorry I have to say it. The rest of the cell wants to go poke the bear.
Yes. Yes, I know. And Cecil is okay with poking the bear, but his wife? Come on, where's your humanity? You know, Cecil's having problems.
War zones are rough, man.
How about you, Rook?
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing great. This is, and by the way, freaking, oh my gosh, Trevor, that was like masterclass tonight of
that was beautiful.
Oh
it
my
was
God,
so beautiful.
That whole scene, even with like interruptions in between, like just that whole scene of like, I'm gonna come in here and make you an offer that you can't refuse, but like upper class British style, old money style, like it was just oozing. It's fantastic. I love.
I can understand why he thought you were a mob boss threatening to kill his wife. It was beautiful though.
Nathan,
when he, talking to the Elizabeth girl, he knew that look in her eyes. That's the same look his daughter gives because Nathan's wife died, so he knows that look, So that kind of hit home for him. So now he's a little more concerned about what happens in this current situation, because he is looking for nightmare fuel, but not that kind. If that makes sense.
Yep. How about you, Poot?
Ooh, I'm having fun. But yeah, Trevor, I gotta continue with that commendation. Every sentence sounded like a threat, and it was amazing, even though it wasn't an overt threat. So, good job. I'm having fun. This is amazing.
Thanks.
Victor.
Well, Victor is riding, well, at least was riding sky high until this nonsense at Rick's place has been brought up. That's kind of derailed his hype train at the moment. But notwithstanding, he is absolutely elated that he managed to talk down a werebear in his own home. That's going off on the list of stories to share with the other Abbey members at the next cocktail party.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that we were gonna have to burn the house down to kill him so that we could pull your husk out.
And how you doing, Trevor?
Oh, great. That was a lot of fun.
All right, everybody. With that, I'm going to find somebody to host while we roll the credits. See y'all later.